holiday turkey feast. Incredible. Stick around. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are now starting what's going to be a fairly long journey on doing a turkey dinner for the family. Easter's tomorrow and it's a lot of work. And my kids have asked me to start posting videos of the family traditional recipes up on YouTube for them because I guess it's just easier than reading one. That's what I got when my dad gave it to me to do when I was 21. And that's what my kids get. Nevertheless, so what we're going to start with, and this one is the stuffing. Now this is my dad's recipe. I haven't really tinkered with it too much. I have done a few little things to make it my own, but by and large it's the stuffing I grew up with. So I'm going to share that and let's get at it. So we start with, this is a 500 grams of just sausage meat. So we start with that, and I actually add a link of spicy Italian sausage just to give it a little bit more kick. So what I'm going to do is fire it into the KitchenAid, get it all blended, and then start cooking off the raw ingredients. So as far as the ingredients go, when my dad made it, he just used normal breadcrumbs in a bag you got from the grocery store. We don't do that. We go down to our local baker and he does really nice breads, and so he cuts us up our own breadcrumbs. So what we've done here is we've got a cranberry loaf that he makes, and we've taken it and put it on the tray for 2 or 3 days to dry them out, because you want these things really dry, right? We don't want to have any moisture left in them because we want them to absorb the moisture when it's inside the turkey cooking. So what I do is we take that, now that they're run, and pour them into, well, pour most of it into the bowl. It's optional. The ones that hit the floor, I don't need those. So the recipe for this will be posted online if I can figure out how to do that. So in the meantime, that's about 3 cups of breadcrumbs. To that, we've got a green onion, like a Granny Smith, whole onion. That'd be an apple. So we've got a whole Granny Smith apple, that goes in. We've got half a cup maybe of cut cranberries. And celery, about half a cup again. And we use pinhead oatmeal. That might be a little tricky. So what it is Scottish oatmeal, but it's very fine. Very fine. So this is it here. It's been rendered down to just about powder. You don't want the big flakes. So if you can't find it, you can just go ahead and take regular oatmeal and put it through a bullet or a food processor and just refine it so it's looks like that. So that goes in. And so in here I've got about a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and that goes in, and 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. That's what really actually makes this really wonderful stuffing, is that seasoning. So that is the dry ingredients, so I'll put those aside for the moment. Now we're going to start cooking off the meat side of it. That's the way I work for a living. Get in there! Okay. Alright, so let's get our sausage meat all opened up and ready to go. Now, I do find that if I take this through this stage, it makes it easier to turn it into a finer crumble when I'm cooking it. And the nice working right next to the sink. Very handy. Okay, so just lock that down. Just want to gently blend it all together so that it's all, blended together. that should do it. Yeah, looks good. Stop there. Poke. Come on. Okay, take that off. Throw it in the sink full of hot water. Hands. Clean, clean, clean. Always keep your hands clean when you're cooking in the kitchen. Alright, so move that aside. Throw that out. Alright, so to that end, I'm going to set up the thing that makes stuff hot. What do you call it? The stove. Cooktop. Frying pan. Okay, I finally got the whatchamacallit out. Turn that on. Set it for about 800 degrees. In goes a little bit of avocado oil. Yeah. Quit barking at me. Alright, so we sit and we wait while it warms up. The infrareds are actually really, really quick, so this won't take very long at all. Yep, there it goes. Now, typically I would do this on the stove, but I found that filming stuff, it's just easier to set up the kitchen this way. It's really hard to get the camera around to the stove. So that's why I'm doing it like this. Yeah. All right. Quit having a fit. You want to make sure the pan's nice and hot and your oil's nice and hot before you throw any of the ingredients in. So the procedure now is I'm going to cook off the sausage meat. And, well, that's actually warming up. Take our dry ingredients, give them a good mix. Of course, the oatmeal falls to the bottom. But that's okay. Alright, so our dry ingredients have a little bit of mixture going on. That's starting to sound like it's getting warm. Yep. Alright, so our pan's warm, so in goes our sausage combination. Eventually. Okay. Here. Okay, so we're just trying to brown this off. And because we've thrown that hot Italian into it, there's not a whole lot of reason to do any more to it. Before I started doing that, I would salt and pepper it and put garlic powder and stuff in it, but I found the hot Italian pretty much takes care of all that spicing. Alright, so we're going to cook this off, and once it's done, we will add it to our dry mixture, and then we'll start cooking off the other things. But I always start with the sausage meat first. We want to start breaking it up. We just don't want one big sausage patty. We want crumble. Now, it does take about 45 minutes to an hour to make this particular breed of stuffing, with all the prep work and the cooking of things off and getting it ready to go in the bird. Now, I do cook this off the night before because it makes it much easier come turkey morning to not have to deal with scones as well as stuffing and prepping the bird. I'd have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do that. And I don't want to. So we do a little bit at night. So I do tend to make my scone recipe the night before and my stuffing the night before to take a little pressure off the day. Geez, that smells good. I should just stop here and grab a fork. Just want to get this nicely broke down into small granules. or as small as you can get. We're almost there. You just need to brown it off. It's going to finish cooking in the turkey anyways. But I'm just trying to sweat some of the fat out of the pork because it has another function. All right, so basically that's what you're looking at. Just sort of a chunky, roughly broken down, bite-sized kind of thing, or less. Boop. Okay. So now bring in our dry stuff. I start scooping the meat. I'm trying to leave as much of the drippings in the pan as I can get away with. Yes, I know. Metal spoons in non-stick pans. It's hard to do this process with a wooden spoon. Alright. So that's basically our sausage done. Now, using the drippings that are in there, we fire in our double smoked bacon. That's about 5 rashers of bacon. Takes about a pound of bacon to do the whole turkey dinner. Half of it goes into the stuffing. We coat the bird, cover it with the other bit. And again, this stuff is perfect the way it is. You don't need to add anything to it. Just brown it off. Now, the original recipe that my dad did was for about a 12 to 15 pound bird. Because I go through the trouble of cooking a turkey, I wanted the biggest turkeys we can get. So I've opted this recipe is now good for up to 20, 25 pound bird. Of course, if you follow the full recipe and you're doing a 15 pound bird, you're going to have leftovers, which is fine. You just wrap them up in tinfoil and put a strip of bacon in the tinfoil, fold it up, throw it in about a half an hour before the turkey's due to come out, or half an hour before you want to serve it, and then you just fold it back in with the stuffing that comes out of the bird, because it'll be very, very moist, which is why we use the nice rustic breadcrumbs to help hold the juices from the bird. So we're not trying to turn this into bacon jerky. We just want to get it to render down a little bit, get some of the fat off the bacon. So now I'll start spooning that out. And into our mix. Induction's a little funny. If you take the pan right off it, it beeps at you. But if you leave it, some part of it touching, it seems to be okay. So you can at least tip your pan when you're cooking with induction and help drain off and work from the high side of the pan to get your parts out. Again, you want to get as much of this out as you can. Because the next step, you don't want to leave any bacon left in the pan, or it will turn into bacon jerky. Sorry guys, just realized that the camera had shut itself off, so I don't know what we've missed. Hopefully not too much, but I got mushrooms in the pan, just put a little bit of butter in there. Just going to brown these things off. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic powder to it, and then once those are rendered down, in they go. I mix everything up, and that's ready to go for the turkey in the morning. So once it's back down to room temperature, I'll put a lid on everything, pop it in the fridge, and makes tomorrow morning that much easier. Okay, we're partially there, so add a little salt and pepper to it. Grinder's having a fit. All right, that's in. Oh, one that got away. And just got a little bit of garlic powder. Smells excellent in here. No vampires in this house. So in goes the garlic powder. Okay, we are nearly there. Give them some color. And I think we're good. So we're going to stop there and shut that off. Lay that in. And then that's everything we want in here. So we give it a good mix. Try and get everything thoroughly incorporated. Now, the trick to this is you don't want to make a moist stuffing at this point. You want to have it dry enough that it'll absorb the chicken or turkey juices, but you need it moist enough to stick together. You don't really want it crumbling. So you want to get all the oatmeal and the breadcrumbs all coated around the bits of meat and onion. So it takes a little bit of time. And you can see the oatmeal coming to the surface now. So I'll take 2 or 3 minutes to keep turning this over so everything's got a nice coat. Now the downside to this is you really can't pre-taste this, because what it tastes like now is nothing like what it tastes like when it comes out of the bird. So you kind of really are doing a little bit of guessing with your spicing. You can't really adjust this too easily because it's hard to figure out what part you would taste to find out if the seasoning's right. Okay. There, now we're starting to get everything incorporated. All right. Okay. Now, if it is a little too dry, I'll leave it alone like this for tonight. Let it cool off, pop it in the fridge. In the morning, when I open it up, I'll take it out a half an hour before I put it in the turkey. I want it up to room temperature, like I do the turkey. And I'll check it then. If it's too dry, I can add a little bit of chicken stock, just a little bit, to try and keep it together. When I'm cooking the turkey and I show that, I'll show you how I adjust this in the morning. All right, that's it for the stuffing portion. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.